Questions?
Yes. Now start.
Okay. Good morning, dear students. Good morning, dear students.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Good morning. Okay. Good morning, all of you.
Good
Good morning. Okay. Whatever I have taught you yesterday, last lesson, did you understand it? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. See, only that if what happened? What happened?
I didn't understand.
Huh?
What is the full name of Akbar, ma'am?
His full name is Abdul Fath Jalaluddin Muhammad. Abdul Fath Jalaluddin Muhammad. Okay. Now, see, yesterday we have studied regarding Akbar's life, early life, and how he ascended the throne. And when he ascended the throne, what kind of situations he had, and how he faced this problems in his life when he was young age, 13 years old. That time he ascended the throne, and the Bairam Khan was the guardian of the Akbar. He, behalf of him, he was taking decisions. And the first
What
Panipat.
is meaning of throne?
Huh? What?
What is meaning of throne?
Throne? Throne. Ascended the throne. Simhasan.
Okay, ma'am.
Simhasan, that Raja sits on the this no. Raja's special seat will be there. That is called ascended the throne, means Simhasan. Okay. So during when he was 13 years old, that time he lost his father. When his father expired in 1556, he lost his father because of the Humayun fell down from the stairs and he got a injury to his head, and it was really means he got very hardly he got to the head, and that's why within 2 days he died. Okay, in the year 1556. That time what happened? He was Akbar was only 13 years old. Okay, now, and even even I told that in first Panipat battle was between Hemu and Akbar, but Akbar did not kill the Hemu. Who killed? Bairam Khan, his uncle, Akbar's uncle. Okay, the Bairam Khan, he was the guardian, and as well as the Akbar was calling him uncle. So the uncle, this behalf of the Akbar, he killed the Hemu in the first Panipat battle. After that, in the 1560, after that, what happened? Even Akbar wanted to
Second battle.
what? Panipat.
Ma'am, second battle of Panipat.
Sorry. First battle was between the Babur and Ibrahim Lodi. Ibrahim Lodi, yes. So by mistake. Okay, second battle of Panipat fought between Akbar and Hemu. Okay, after this, what happened in 1560? Akbar wanted to control. He wanted to control the administration, but who was the hurdle in between that? The Bairam Khan was the hurdle. He not allowed him uh, to handle the administration. So that's why what happened? He there was a clashes between Bairam Khan and this Akbar. But afterwards, after the finish clashes were ended, and he was sent to the Mecca. Bairam Khan was sent to the Mecca, and then onwards, after 1560 onwards, he started that means he started to control his administration in his control, and his first that even the actually the exams, whenever in exams, especially in exams, the question can come that write the achievements of Akbar. So that time you need to write these all conquest of Akbar. Okay, the first from where to where he expanded his territory, from Kashmir to Godavari. Godavari, from north to south till Godavari he expanded, and from this Hindu Kush mountains from northeast to till Brahmaputra river in the east. Till that he expanded his territory. After that he in 1561 he conquered Malwa, then Narmada Valley, and Madhya Pradesh, Jaunpur, Gujarat, Bengal, Ajmer, Ranthambore, Jodhpur, Bikaner, and Jaisalmer. These were the Rajasthan. These becomes in Rajasthan and middle of the India. So these places were conquered and occupied by the Akbar. And then 1572 he conquered the Ahmedabad and Surat. It is in Gujarat. So these two places he occupied in the, just a minute. He occupied in the year 1572. So these points are important. This you have to write. When I will ask in the exams, means may this question can come. Write the achievements of Akbar. If it comes, you have to write these points. Understood? Understood, everyone? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
So these are. No, I'm not teaching, Baba. Just I'm revising whatever I have taught in last class. Okay. And then after that, so he defeated Afghan ruler called Daud Khan in the battle Raj Mahal. Okay. It was, so he defeated him, and again, the Deccan side also he concentrated. So the Deccan part of the India. So in that Ahmednagar, Khandesh, and Virar, these were the Deccan rulers. So he defeated them also, and he occupied Ahmednagar, Khandesh, and Virar. These three parts also he conquered. Okay, in the year 1600. So these are the achievements of Akbar. After this, we'll go to relationship with the Rajputs. Even I have told you that he had a good relation. He maintained a good relations with the Rajputs. Okay, and even he believed he understood the importance of Hindu-Muslim unity. He believed that the Hindu and Muslim should be keep a unity, and that's why what happened. He married many Rajput queens. Okay, example in that first example I can give about regarding Jodhabai. Jodhabai. Yes, she is the daughter of
Harkabai also.
Harkabai also you can call, or you can call Jodhabai also. You can call any name. You can call both are same only, no? Same name. So both only names are different, but person is same. So you can use any one. Okay, any one name. Harkabai, otherwise Jodhabai. But almost everybody spells Jodhabai only. Okay, Jodhabai. Jodhabai. Okay, the daughter of this Raj Baramahal of Amber. Okay, he was the queen of this princess of Jaipur. Amber comes in Jaipur, so there she was the daughter of Raj Baramahal, and she married with the Akbar. Okay, after this, after the even actually even not only this queen he married, and even other queens also he married. Okay, because to keep up good relations with the Rajput rulers. So automatically what will happen? The enemy will become the friends. They will not they will not be enemies after the marriage. They'll become a friends, right? Hello? So second point, example is that he had kept Hindu ministers in his court. Example like a Raja Todarmal and Mansingh. They were appointed in the highest post. Okay, they were appointed in the highest post, and even they got a respect also. The equal respect how the Muslim ministers were getting the respect. Same respect they got in the Akbar's court. Raja Todarmal and Mansingh. Have you heard about Akbar Bilbal stories?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, they are very famous. Still, even many children they like to Akbar Birbal stories. Even Birbal, also he also belonged to the Hindu religion, and even he was a favorite person. Okay, he was liked by the Akbar, as like even Akbar he was calling as a friend. Akbar was always calling him my friend. Okay, there are many stories. If you get time, please see the Akbar Birbal stories. You'll come to know how he was. What? Okay. Yes. The third one, what happened? He did not annex the Rajput kingdoms. He did not snatch their kingdoms, Rajput kingdoms, because many Rajput kingdoms they surrendered themselves to the Akbar. They surrendered, and they every year they were sending some tribute to the Akbar's court. Tribute means what? Can you tell? Actually, yesterday I have
Like
explained.
gold, soldiers and all that.
Yes, soldiers, servants, gold, and diamonds, whatever the precious things they had, Rajputs, that they were sending it to the Akbar's court, even during the war time. During when the Akbar was going to war and all that time also they were helping like soldiers, weapons, whatever they were sending it to the Akbar to help in the war. So this way they were helping, and they were means they were accepted his this lordship. And then this was the third point, that he did not annex their kingdom. That's why, and that is what. Just a minute.
Ma'am,
What happened? Yes,
how many wives did Akbar have?
Akbar's. He had many wives. That is, I'll tell you tomorrow. Can I tell you tomorrow? How much?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. He had many wives, but that is countless. We can't tell exactly 13, 14, or how many. That I will tell you tomorrow. Okay. But exactly we can't tell, but we'll see. If I'll find any this how many he had. So I will tell you.
He had 13 wives.
No, not sure. He kept there were many wives he had, but exactly we can't tell how many wives he had. Okay, I will let you know. I will tell you tomorrow. Okay,
But who had many wives?
Akbar. Akbar.
Okay, ma'am.
Akbar. He had many wives. Okay, but that list I don't have now. I will tell. I'll tell. If I'll.
Many wives, ma'am.
Okay, now we'll go to next, and even he cancelled Jizya and pilgrimage tax also. Please listen carefully, dear students. Please don't talk middle, otherwise I'll get a disturb. So even okay, just revising this, so it will be helpful for you. These points will helpful to keep in your mind. Just listen carefully. So even he abolished some taxes which were imposed on Hindu people. Example like a Jizya. Jizya, those were Hindus, no? So Hindu peoples, they were paying a Jizya tax because they belong to Hindu. Okay, but and pilgrimage tax. Whoever the Hindu peoples were going to pilgrimage, means religious places like Kashi and all, Kashi Yatra and all. So even they were paying taxes to the this Delhi Sultanate. But during Akbar's time, it all the taxes were abolished by Akbar. He did not. He cancelled all the taxes because his main intention. What was his main intention? He wanted that Hindu and Muslim should keep a unity, or both they should come near. Okay, so that's why what happened. Akbar, he cancelled those taxes from the Hindu people. But instead of this, there were some rulers. They did not like the Akbar's this rule, so that's why they opposed. Example like a Rana Uday Singh of Mewar. He did not like the Akbar's rule. He opposed. He did not wanted to surrender himself, so he opposed. What happened? Okay, so he did not like his he did not wanted to surrender himself to the Akbar, so that's why he opposed. But that time, what happened? The Akbar, what he did, he did a war with Rana Uday Singh of Mewar, and he snatched this. He captured Chittor Fort in the year 1567. Okay, underline that this. If you have a textbook and pencil, with a pencil, please underline Chittor Fort was captured in the year 1567. Okay, after this, after the death of Rana Uday Singh, his son Rana Pratap. Maybe you heard about Rana Pratap. There is a serial on Rana Pratap. Yeah, Pratap Singh. There is a serial, Hindi serial Rana Pratap Singh. Okay, even he also a brave person, and he did not wanted to surrender, as like his father not surrendered to the Akbar. Even he also followed same thing as his father followed. But what happened? Even he did not get success on the Akbar, and he ran away from the this. Okay, he ran away from the war, and lastly there was a war between him and Akbar. Was 1576. It was called a Battle of Haldi Ghat. Battle of Haldi Ghat. Underline. So there was a war between Rana Pratap and Akbar. So this was the what you can add this one in the achievements of conquest of Akbar. This point also you can add it. Okay. And if I ask you how he maintained the relation between Rajputs, Akbar, how he maintained relations with the Rajputs, if I ask that question, you need to write these 4 points. Understood? Understood, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So after that, we will go to. You can write it, but the just whatever the answer should be related with the question. Whatever means whatever you can't write. Okay. If it is not related, also if you write it, you won't get marks. So the related things you have to write. I don't want I don't want that as it is, whatever given in the book, that I don't want as it is. You can write it. You can compose your own sentence, and the main points you have to write. And what you do whenever you write some persons like a Jodhabai name, or some Raja Bhara Mahal, or Amber place Jaipur, Malwa, and there was Todarmal or Akbar's, or dates 1561, 1556. If whenever you write it, please underline those important points. Understood? Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Whenever in the exam, especially in exam, please underline those important words. So it will be easily highlighted and teacher can see easily, and you will get a marks. Okay, out of marks if you want to score. What happened? What happened?
Rajputs were Hindus.
Yeah, Rajputs are Hindus only. Why? Rajputs are Hindus, Baba. Mirabai, you have you heard? Have you heard Mirabai?
Ma'am.
What happened?
No, ma'am.
Mirabai, she worshipped Krishna actually. Okay, they are Hindu. Rajputs are Hindu.
Ma'am, I didn't understand.
You could not able to hear my voice. Please check your mobile. Maybe there is a error in your mobile. Okay, technical problem. Please check out and then.
Ma'am, she is devoted to Krishna.
Okay, please stop talking now. Okay, listen carefully. Now I am going to teach today what I want to teach. So first, the whatever we have studied yesterday, that we have revised. Now we will go to Akbar's religious policy. So even he had some religious policies. Like even he gave importance for religion also. Okay, he started Sul-e-Kul. Yeah, Sul-e-Kul. It was the believed. It was a religious policy. It means that universal peace. Universal peace. He wanted a peaceness. He wanted to build a peaceful this peaceness in the his territory. His territory, whatever the he territory expanded in that whole territory, he wanted to settle universal peace. Okay, so that's why what happened. He abolished all the taxes which were imposed on Hindu peoples. Except Muslim, whatever the taxes imposed on the Hindu peoples, that all removed, abolished by the Akbar, because he wanted that Hindu Muslim should be one. Hindu Muslim should get one. They'll develop unity among them. Okay, second one, even the Hindu ministers, he appointed Hindu ministers. Example like Raja Todarmal, Man Singh, Birbal. Okay, these were appointed in his court, and they got a full respect as how the Muslims were getting. So this shows that he was very kind person towards the religion, and even towards the Hindu people also. Okay, he was a very kind person. So this is what the universal peace he wanted to set up in his territory. So second one, Din-e-Ilahi. Din-e-Ilahi, please underline Din-e-Ilahi. It means religious policy of Akbar. It is also a religious policy. It was introduced in the year 1581. Okay, according to this Din-e-Ilahi, what he wanted, he wanted that he wanted to collect the moral values of the moral values of all religion. Okay, like the Hindu people, which book we refer, we follow Hindu peoples, which is the holiest Bhagavad Gita. Very good, very good. See, means Hindu people, they read Bhagavad Gita, because this is our main Hindu script, and we follow the whatever written in the Hindu this Bhagavad Gita, we follow it. So that is the Hindu book. Muslim ka Quran. So they follow Quran, and even Punjabi. Sikh which book they follow? Sikh Granth Sahib. They follow Granth Sahib. That is the Punjabi book. Okay, it is like a Bhagavad Gita for them. So this way, what happens? There were many religious people, religious and pandits and all. So they were what? They almost the religious people. They study about the religion, and they were all means he interested to learn about all the religions and what the moral values and moral values has given, and what are the similarities among these religions. Similarities means common. Okay, so here see in common, like a Muslim also, in the maybe in Muslim also they have written that we should not means we should not trouble anyone, we should not tease, means we should not cheat anyone. So same thing it is written in Bhagavad Gita also. Same thing written is in Granth Sahib also. We should not cheat anyone, we should not trouble anyone. Is it correct? These are things are there in our book, in Bhagavad Gita and all. It is there.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it is there because this is the moral values. Yeah, we should not say lie. We should treat equally for all, and we should give respect. Right? We should not use bad words towards others. These are all good moral values, and this we have studied. We get in the we get in a book also in Bhagavad Gita. So same thing. Some similarities are there in all the religions, but only the languages are different. But Quran, it is a Muslim book. Okay, and Bhagavad Gita, it is a Hindu. Granth Sahib, it belongs to it belong to the Punjabi people. So this way there are different books, but the main whatever the concept is there in that book, it is the same, right?
Bible also.
Bible, it is Christianity. Even they have same. Okay, Bible also they have given same thing only, but only the language is different. But the moral values, whatever it is there, it is same in the book. Okay, so same. So he was interested to learn everything about, but he was illiterate actually. He did not know the reading and writing. But what he was doing, he was calling all the religious peoples to his court, and he was listening. He was hearing, listening everything, like the pandits, whatever they were saying about their religions. He was listening all because he wanted to know about the religion, about all the religions, the important points of all the religions. So he was calling. So it is called that religious policy, and this is called a Din-e-Ilahi. He started that. Okay. And none of the other rulers, they did not start this Din-e-Ilahi. Only the Akbar started. Okay, and after this, to discuss this, he built up the one prayer hall. He constructed one prayer hall, that is called a hall of prayer, Ibadat Khana. Please underline Ibadat Khana, IBADAT, Ibadat Khana, KHANA, Ibadat Khana, underline. So to discuss this all, what happened? What? It is in page number 37. See that picture is there, no? Akbar with the learned individuals in the page number 37, Ibadat Khana. So underline that. See, he constructed Ibadat Khana because to discuss these religious things in the that prayer hall. It was constructed in Fatehpur Sikri in the year 1575. Underline 1575 in Fatehpur Sikri. So he constructed Ibadat Khana. Okay, why even he invited scholars belongs to Hinduism, Islam, Zoroastrianism, and Christianity. From all the religions, he invited them, and they were discussed about their religions and about the existence of God. Okay, and even he had a means he came to know that religions are different, but the religion goal is the same. Okay, the religion goal means aim is same only, but only the languages and books, all it is different. But the religion aim is same, the goal is same. So this way, he gave support for religious these policies also, and he was a very kind person towards the Rajputs, and in whole this Mughal Empire, he only alone this person called Akbar the Great. Okay, we call Akbar the Great. Why we call him great? Yes, can you tell why we call him great?
They had a good policy.
Very good, very good. So you know him about now. You know him very well.
All the religion.
Yes, he treated equal to all. Yes.
Man, because he was good in education and he was good in religious policy and social political.
Yes, very good, very good. See, yeah, he's stop, stop, stop. Okay. So now till the Ibadat Khana, it was means the religious policy. This was followed till the death of Akbar. Akbar's. It was he died in the year 1605. Please underline 1605. Akbar was he died in the year 1605. Till then, the Ibadat Khana, the prayer, the discussions were held, and he motivated the religious persons. He awarded them. Okay, he gave award also. What happened? It is in the page number 38. Page number 38. Okay. 1600. Okay. So here you can see miniature paintings from the Akbarnama. Okay, it is the Akbarnama. In the book Akbarnama, it is a book. Okay. So this is the in that they have given some paintings. Can you see the paintings? Can you see the paintings? Okay. See, yeah, yes. I told you that in 1560, there was a clashes between Akbar, Akbar and Bairam Khan, because Bairam Khan not allowed him to take a decisions, and he not allowed to take a administration control in his hand. So that's why what happened. There was a clashes. But after that clashes finished, he was instructed to go to Mecca. Okay, it is point number 3. You can see the after Bairam Khan's defeat, Akbar gave him to option of going on the pilgrimage to Makkah. Okay, Bairam Khan, he had a wife and one son, and the Bairam Khan's son and wife both were stayed with Akbar, and only the Bairam Khan, he went to Mecca. He went to Mecca, and there only he died. Okay, so Bairam Khan's wife and his son, they stayed with the Akbar, and the Akbar was calling that boy Khane Khana, Khane Khana. So it is there in the page number point number 5. We can see point number 5. The Bairam Khan's son. Actually, his name was Abdul Rahim Khan. His name, the boy's name was Abdul Rahim Khan, but Akbar was calling him Khane Khana. Okay, he was a very small when he came to stay with Akbar. He was a very small. So that time Akbar was loving that boy, and so that's why he was calling him Khane Khana. Okay, because he was loving that boy. So this way what happened, after the death of Akbar, his son Jahangir became the next emperor. Okay, so now Jahangir. So Jahangir, his mother name. Can you tell his mother name? Jahangir. Can you tell his mother's name? Yes. Yes, very good, very good. Yes. So yes. Can you tell his early name? Harkabai, Harkabai or Jodhabai you can call. So can you tell Jahangir? Yes, yes. Muhammad Salim also you can call. His early name was Muhammad Salim. Otherwise, even the Akbar was calling him Sheku Baba. Sheku Baba. Shaiku, Sheku Baba. Okay, Akbar was loving this Salim. So he was calling him Sheku Baba, and he was the first son of this. Before that, because of some incidents, huh? Akbar was calling him Sheku Baba to Jahangir. Yeah, this Salim only, Muhammad Salim only, the first son of Akbar. Before that, because of this accidents, they lost the children. But after that, because of the this in Fatehpur Sikri, there was a one.
What is the spelling of
Sheku Baba. Shaiku, Sheku Baba, BA. Sheku Baba. Shaiku, Sheku Baba. Ba. Sheku Baba. So this name means he was Akbar was calling Salim Sheku Baba. Okay. So because he is the first son of Akbar. Please listen carefully. He is the Muhammad Salim also he was calling before Jahangir. Muhammad Salim or Sheku Baba. But afterwards he got name Jahangir. His father only gave him the name Jahangir. Okay. Yes. Jahangir, he was born in the year 1569. So please mention it when he born 1569. 1569 he born and okay. So he is the eldest son of what? He is the eldest son of Akbar and actually Nuruddin Muhammad Jahangir also he was called and that is the meaning of that Nuruddin Muhammad Jahangir, conqueror of the world. Conqueror of the world. It means okay. So see after the death of the Akbar, when Akbar died in 1605. So after the death of his father, the Jahangir became the next emperor in the Delhi Sultanate and he started to rule. But here he did not expand more territory. He did not expanded more territory. Whatever his father had during his father's time, Akbar's times, whatever the father expanded his territory, as it is he maintained, but he did not fight more. Okay, there is not more this achievements we can find regarding this Jahangir person. Okay, so he also married Mansing's sister. Jahangir also married a Rajput this princess. Okay, the Mansingh I told he was working one of the one of the minister and in the court of Akbar. So his sister Mansingh's sister she married to Akbar. Sorry, Jahangir married to this Rajput Mansingh's sister, and even after that she gave birth to one of the eldest son called Khusru. Khusru was the son of this Jahangir and Mansingh. Okay. After that, again another one brother called his name was a Khurram. Khurram. Okay. Khurram. He afterwards he was known as a Shah Jahan. Have you heard about Shah Jahan?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but his earlier name was Khurram. Khurram. Okay, his mother.
He for his wife, he built hotel for his wife. He built a Taj Mahal for his wife.
Yeah. Yes. Shahjahan constructed Taj Mahal for his wife. Yes, very good. Yeah. So Khurram, his early name was Khurram, and he is the son of Jahangir. Shahjahan was the son of he is the son of Jahangir. Okay, so Khusru and Khurram and other children were there, but in that children's only the Khusru and Khurram were the important persons. Okay, they were the son of Jahangir. Okay, so here we can see that he did not expanded his territory. Whatever the territory his father had, same he maintained. Okay, he balanced. Only that he fought against Mewar. He fought against Mewar and defeated Rana Amar Singh in the year 1615. Underline those things. He fought against Mewar and defeated Rana Amar Singh in the year 1516. And even he forcibly he defeated the 1615 only. 1615. That only I told. Yeah, and afterwards he defeated Musa Khan. It is page number 39. Come to page number 39. Yeah, and before only in the first period I told you, please keep a pencil. Yeah. So he forcibly occupied the Bengal also. He defeated Musa Khan and his followers, 12 followers. He defeated Musa Khan and his 12 followers. They were called Bara Bhuya. Bara Bhuya means followers. They were followers of Musa Khan and he was defeated and the Bengal was controlled. The forcibly it was controlled by Jahangir. Only these two important achievements you can mention it whenever this his achievements or something. If I'll tell you to write a short note on Jahangir, please mention these 2 points. Okay, and after this, even the foreign visitors, they visited to his court, Jahangir's court, during when he was a emperor. That time, there were the European people, travelers, European travelers of this. They were came to India and they visited the Jahangir's court, and they were William Hawkins and Sir Thomas Roe. Please underline those: William Hawkins and Sir Thomas Roe. Can you know when the British established their colonies in India? East India Company, when it is set up? Do you know? Do you know when the Britishers enter in India, when they set up their East India Company in India? No? Don't know. Okay. See, the Britishers entered in India and they set up their 1600. 1600. They came in 1600. Please write it. They entered in. Yes, yes. They entered 1600. They entered in India. Okay. First time the Britishers entered in India, and slowly they came because they wanted to export the whatever things means like spices, cotton, jute, whatever the things we had in India, that they wanted to export their motherlands. That's why they set up their colonies in India. So first time they entered when the Jahangir was a emperor in Delhi Sultanate. During that time they entered and they visited Jahangir, and they took a permission. They took a permission from Jahangir to set up their factories in Surat. Okay. So see, obviously means they wanted a permission from Jahangir because Jahangir was the strongest emperor in India. He was the strongest emperor because Mughal Empire was the strongest emperor, and that's why what happened. This Sir Thomas Roe, he was the one of the the officer in East India Company. What happened? See, whatever doubt.
Surat is present in Maharashtra.
No, Gujarat it is. It is in Gujarat. Okay. So it is given in your this here page number 36. You can see here Gujarat they have mentioned. Okay. So it is the part of Gujarat. So see, they wanted to set up their factories in Surat. That's why what happened. They took permission from Jahangir, and then they started their, it was Surat was controlled by Jahangir. That's why they took permission to start their factory in Jahangir. See, foreigners now present also we can see if America want to set up some factory in India, suddenly they'll come and set up their factories, or they'll take a permission. Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm asking you the question. Yes, they take permission from Indian government. Yes. Yeah, if America or France or Russia, if they want to set up some factories in India, they need a permission of our government. So same thing during that 1600. During 1600, they wanted to set up a factory in Surat. That's why what happened. They came here and they asked permission from the Jahangir, and then they set up their factory in Surat. Okay. So after this, what happened after this? He was like he was only these things are important, and then what happened? He was not paid much attention in the administration. He led a luxurious life. Whole his life he led a luxurious life, and he not had much interest in administration. So what he did, he had interest in he was like a naturalist person. He was liking to go go to forest and seeing birds, nature. He was liking natures. He was liking paintings, literature, and he was liking birds. Okay, seeing bird watch. He was watching birds and all. So he was liking the nature, and even he was luxurious. He led the luxurious life, and even he had written his own autobiography called a Tuzuke Jahangiri. Please underline Tuzuke Jahangiri. Underline Tuzuk A-I.
Where is it, ma'am?
It is in 39, page number 39. Please underline Tuzuke Jahangiri. Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Last. Okay. So he was a
Which paragraph?
last paragraph. Jahangir. So, he was a naturalist. He was loving literature, art, and he was learning. He was interested in art and everything. Art and yeah, writing also, literature also he was liking. That's why he had written his own autobiography called Tuzuke Jahangiri. Okay, so this way he and afterwards when he married his 20th wife called Noor Jahan. She was the last wife of Jahangir. Underline 20th wife, last wife of Jahangir. Her name was Noor Jahan. Noor Jahan, N-U-R, Noor Jahan. Okay. Ah? Noor Jahan. Okay, she was the 20th wife of last wife of Jahangir. Noor Jahan. Noor Jahan. And her real name was Mehrum Nisa. Mehrum Nisa. Mehrum Nisa. Her actual name was Mehrum Nisa. Okay, what happened when he married 20th? She was the last wife, and she was very brilliant lady. Noor Jahan was a very brilliant and very courageous lady, and she had an interest in administration also. She had interest in administration. So what she did, Jahangir, he did not give much interest for administration. So he was always lead the luxurious life. So that time, what happened? All the administration this administration she took in her hand. Noor Jahan, she took in her hand, and she started to involve in administration, and she started to command and all. So that time, what happened? The Jahangir's son, that Khusru and Khurram. Actually, they did not like that Noor Jahan started to command the administration and all, commanding in the administration. So did not like it, because actually they had some fear. Means because Noor Jahan, what she was doing, she was promoting her family members in the important post in the administration. For important posts, she was promoting her relatives, her brother, her sisters, her uncle's son, like that way she was promoting her relatives to a higher post in administration. So that's why what happened, the Jahangir's son Khurram and Khusru, they did not like it. Okay, and they started to oppose Khurram and Shahjahan. Otherwise, you can call Shahjahan. They started to oppose it. So there was like a clashes between Noor Jahan and Shahjahan. Otherwise, Khurram you can call. Okay, there was a clashes between them because they did not like her commanding on them. Okay, but after last, when the Jahangir died, he died in the year 1620. He died in the 1627. Okay, Jahangir died in the year 1627. Please write it with a pencil. Can you hear me, everyone? Hello? Yeah, please write it. Jahangir, he died in the year 1627. Okay, he was not in Delhi. That time he was in near Lahore. Near Lahore he was. So he died because of his sickness. Okay, because of his sickness, his last before death, he was near the Lahore. There only, near Lahore, he died in the year 1627. Okay, Jahangir died, and after the death of Jahangir, Shahjahan, what he did? He occupied the Delhi Sultanate. He ascended the throne. He became the next emperor. After Jahangir, Khurram became the Khurram, or you can call Shahjahan. He was become the next emperor of Delhi Sultanate. And the Khusru, what happened? Even he wanted to ascend the throne. He wanted to occupy Delhi Sultanate, but he was killed. He was killed by his brother Shahjahan. Shahjahan, what he did? He cheatingly, what he did? He killed a Khusru. Okay, and he ascended the throne, and he became the emperor of Delhi Sultanate. Till this you have understood?
Ma'am.
Huh? What happened?
Yes, ma'am.
What happened? Please? Huh? Huh? Please text what you want to say. Please text it. What you want to say?
You want to say in Google who is bad one?
No bad one. Here there was no bad one. Actually, see here in the this during olden time, what happened? Everyone wanted to become a king. Okay, so because of that, they were doing the wrong things, but no one was bad and no one was good. Okay, they were good only. Okay, huh? Yes,
Ma'am,
huh? Huh? Mughal Empire? Who?
Which ruler do not give up? For
Do,
fighting?
do not give up. No, no. All the rulers, emperors were good. Okay, all were good only. But in that, this Akbar was this great. Akbar was played a very important role in Mughal Empire. Okay, after Akbar, we can take this the Babur and Shah Jahan also. He was also a good this important emperor in the Mughal Empire. Aurangzeb. Okay, that we will learn afterwards. After finishing Shah Jahan, we will go to learn regarding Aurangzeb. Now, till this it is finished. Please read the lesson carefully. Okay, and what happened? Now it is time up, Baba. Now you have a next class, right? You have a next class. Attend for next class. So whatever that next class. Now you whatever difficulties you have, we will discuss it in the next class. Okay. If you, okay, now please stop talking. It is okay. Bye, all of you.
Ma'am.